So we are getting ready to depart St. Thomas, headed for Annapolis, and it's about noon, a little before noon. So this is the harbor. There's Jordan over there. He just went swimming. And this is where we're leaving from, the CYOA base, Frenchtown Marina, St. Thomas. And we're going to head out through the cut right there in about 15-20 minutes. There's Super Burn.
Hey, you put the left thing down. I couldn't see you.
You want to invite yourself?
What's that?
You want to introduce yourself?
I thought you just did it.
No.
You said there's Super. I couldn't do it any better than that. Super Burn.
Super Burn. All right. And there's the Admiral.
All ready to go.
Admiral Betsy, you ready to go?
Yep.
Got the game face on?
Always.
Always. Linda.
Super Linda.
Super Linda.
Yeah.
And you're ready to go too. She's ready to go. Jordan, what about you? You ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm the boat boy, 5'9", enjoy long walks on the beach.
Deck boy, not boat.
Yeah, sorry, boat boy, deck boy.
Deck man, we get, you know. We don't want to get, you know.
When I get in
Don't want to get in any kind of trouble. Right. All right. So we're getting ready to head out, and we'll do an update once we get underway. So we are leaving St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. That's one of the last islands there. And then that's Sail Rock over there. And over on this side of the boat, that's Calibra and Calibrita, part of Puerto Rico. And there's Linda.
Not part of Puerto
She's
Rico,
chilling.
part of the boat.
She's chilling, and Vern's chilling in his pirate bandana, and Betsy's got the helm.
Are we there yet?
Sails are looking good. Vern's sacked up. You can see we got little sails are looking good. We kind of zoomed around the wave back. All together correct. Vern. It's a beautiful day, day 2. Not quite 24 hours since we left St. Thomas. Gorgeous weather. Winds out of the east, about 13 to 16 knots. So we're on Broad Reef doing pretty good speed.
Yay, my shift's off.
Yay.
Linda's coming to relieve me.
Yes, it's time for shift change.
Shift change.
Shift change. Doing all right. 7 to 9 knots. This wind speed. Getting ready to start day 3 of our crossing from St. Thomas to Annapolis.
Betsy's at the helm.
Yay. Morning shift.
We are got a little bit of ugly weather here. Got a squall line coming through, as you can see. And so we have shortened the sails. We're seeing wind all over the place from 8 knots all the way to 25 knots. So we've shortened our sails and we got a motor on to balance the boat. And that way if we have to, we can quickly douse the sails if the winds get too high. Otherwise the seas are about 1 to 3 meters, closer to 1. No. They vary a little, but this wind will kick them up some. Everybody's doing well. So we are starting our 4th day on our voyage from St. Thomas to Annapolis. We have lost a fair amount of wind speed. We've only got about 10 knots of wind right now. We're going downwind, trying to stay within 250 miles of the Bahamas, keep our insurance agent happy. And you can see we are out here in the middle of the deep blue sea, and it's such a pretty color. And we're only doing about 5 knots downwind right now with just the Genoa. But we thought we'd kind of take a relaxing evening and not really worry about a lot of speed and just have the Genoa out. The main was kind of beating itself to death. You can see the sun behind the Genoa there. Give you a little bit of idea of the boat motion. Pretty gentle swell. Sea's about as calm as we've seen it so far on this trip. So this wind should hold through the night, so we should do about 5 knots all night, and then tomorrow we're going to put our parasailer up and give that a whirl during daylight hours.
It's a win-win.
Now we're starting day 5 on our passage. You can see the winds come down considerably. Seas have come down considerably. Thus we have rigged our parasailer. And we're flying it. It's only the 3rd time we've done it, so we're still working on getting the telltales to fly right and be stable. So we're playing with it, getting it tuned. Jordan just got up. He's thinking about doing something today. Betsy's at the helm. So we're headed straight downwind. It's about 10 knots. And we're making about 5 with the parasailer. And headed on towards our direction, north. Starting day 5 on our journey from St. Thomas to Annapolis. You can see that the wind is very light, probably about 8 or 9 knots. That's expected to continue for a while, but it does give us a nice flat sea. Not a lot of clouds today. We have gotten the parasailer back up. We took it down overnight to just preclude any problems. We didn't know if maybe the wind had died, and we didn't want people up front trying to get the parasailer down in the middle of the night. So we motored at about 5 knots last night, one engine, about 1900 RPM, and we're just having a little breakfast. Miss Betsy's down there having her breakfast, and I'm getting ready to have my morning coffee. Beautiful day if we had a little bit more wind. So we are about 500 miles from Norfolk, and we're pretty much on a direct course right now. We have had some squalls, and that's kind of kicked the sea up a little bit. It's a little angry, various directions, and kicked up our wind. We were seeing over 20 knots for a little bit, but it's kind of calmed back down to about 15 to 18. You kind of see the motion of the ocean there. At noon today we'll start our 6th day on the passage. Everybody's feeling pretty good. You know, bumpy's a little hard to deal with, but we're working through it. Linda's getting ready. She's getting her power breakfast, and she's got the shift from 9 to 12. Jordan's chillaxing over there on the couch, and Miss Betsy's on watch at the helm. How you doing, Miss Betsy? Yay! We have the main all the way up still, and we have the Genoa reefed. About the first reef, maybe a little more than the first reef, but the main is still up. We're only seeing about 12 knots apparent, so because we're going downwind. If we need to, we can bear off some more. If the main gets under pressure, we can reef it. We've got it set on the winch. Reef number 1 ready to go. I mentioned storms this morning, and here's some of what we're looking at. Getting ready to sail into a squall line here, so we're probably going to have to batten the hatches down, reef things down. So you can probably see we don't have any sails up. It's about as calm as it gets out in the Atlantic. We're about 225 miles off Cape Hatteras, a little south of Cape Hatteras still. Headed into Norfolk to make our landfall. We just started our 7th day, so we've got 6 full days sailing, a little over 1,000 miles since we left St. Thomas a week ago. Wind is very, very light, couple knots. We're kind of going through a calm spot here. Probably wind will come back from the east or northeast later on this evening, so we'll be able to put sails back up then. We had a nice squall we went through earlier today, which was Miss Betsy. She's got the watch right now. Do you want to say anything, Miss Betsy?
Exciting to see the dolphins. That was a great midpoint encouragement.
They had a good time with that, huh?
This morning's dolphins were fun.
Yeah, it was a small group, but they were cute. We even had a nocturnal visitor last night. We had flying fish deposit itself on deck here. We haven't removed it yet. Jordan said he wants to take a look at it before we remove it. It's a good sized flying fish.
Well, I know we're doing it for 2 hours. Does this have a... No, it doesn't have a... Seriously? Yeah. No bin. Get us a screwdriver.
So Vern is not impressed with a new design for 5-gallon fuel jugs.
It's a spill-proof system.
It doesn't spill, but it also doesn't pour. It's supposed to have a built-in, you know, that little air passage. What about if you take off the white extension piece? Does that... Bad idea? Okay, bad idea. So we're trying to get the diesel fuel in the boat. This is 10 5-gallon cans that we brought along, and we're glad we brought them along because we're down to a little more than a quarter tank of fuel, or about 30 gallons. So we've burned 90 gallons of fuel so far on this trip between motoring, making water, and Vern's AC. So Vern likes his AC, as we all do. So
I'll become the AC czar.
yeah,
And I'll make sure like who's is on and who's isn't.
there you go. Yeah, what used to be a simple, you know, one-man job putting fuel into a tank from a can is now a complicated two-person job because of this spill-proof spout that requires one person to hold the can, the other person to say, "Oh crap," and another person to push the button. And there's the ladies at the helm. How fast are we going, honey?
Do you want our average speed or what we're currently doing?
Oh, let's do the average.
We're 5.9 knots.
5.9. We're motoring on one engine at, what, 2,000 RPM?
Yes.
All right. So we're going to be motoring through this calm. So we're about in the middle of our 7th day. The sun's setting over the Chesapeake. We're about 300 miles from Norfolk, Virginia. We're about 200 miles off Cape Hatteras. And you can barely see the sunset there. It's going into some clouds, but it's a pretty evening. We're motoring, not much wind. Probably only a couple knots of wind. Hopefully we'll get some wind come about midnight and we can get the sails up again. So we're getting ready to start our 8th day of the passage. and it's a pretty day. There's no storms about this morning. We are about 250 miles from Norfolk. We're still a little bit south of Cape Hatteras, but coming around the Cape today. Probably be about 50 to 70 miles off the Cape. You can probably hear the motor running. That's because the wind is coming from the direction that we want to go. So we're motoring basically into about 8 knots. And a little bouncy, but you know, this is what it looks like on the flutter when you're crossing the Gulf Stream. We're crossing it near Cape Hatteras, and the boat's heading is one direction and your actual course over ground is another. Fairly good current, of course, in the Gulf Stream. It's a beautiful night. There's absolutely no wind, so there's no waves or anything on the Gulf Stream tonight. Kind of hard to see because of the low light conditions, but that is almost a full moon. We had a full moon last night, but we only have a couple knots of wind. It's moving around from the east to the south, so we have pretty much a mill pond out here. Very, very calm. So we've got gusts up over 20, and we're kind of going real slow. We're trying to time our entrance to the harbor, the entrance to the Chesapeake for daylight, which would be about 5 a.m. So we've slowed the boat down again. It's a beautiful day though, just a little gusty. Kind of see the white caps out there, and we've just got a little bit of Genoa up. Betsy's fixing dinner, meatloaf tonight. And you can see we don't have very much Genoa up, probably about a third of the Genoa, and we're just trying to do 4.5 knots the rest of the way in tonight. We're motoring right now just so we have freedom of navigation. We got to stay out of the ship channels, and the wind's pretty light anyways. You can see some ships out here. There's one back behind us coming up. Ship channel over there, and you can see off way in the distance there. Ship there, and then we've got beginnings of civilization there after 10 days at sea. It got a little busy as we entered Norfolk Harbor. A lot of Navy ships, a lot of commercial vehicles, but we got ourselves tied up at Waterside Marina, downtown Norfolk. This is our passage track that we ended up taking, staying fairly close to the Bahamas, but still about 250, 300 miles offshore. And we ended up going 1,384 nautical miles in 10 days and 2 hours. So that was basically our passage from St. Thomas to Norfolk. Our next video will have our passage from Norfolk up the Chesapeake Bay to Annapolis. Please hit the like button if you like this video, or give us a thumbs up, and please subscribe. And